Before you were ever taught how to make money, you were taught how to obey. Obey your teachers. Obey your boss. Obey the rules. Work hard. Stay humble. Wait your turn. Save a little. Spend carefully. Be patient. They called it wisdom. But what if those lessons were never designed to make you wealthy? What if they were designed to make you useful? Think about it. Why do some people seem to attract wealth no matter what happens around them, while millions of others work harder every year yet remain trapped in the same financial prison? It isn't because they are luckier. It isn't because they are smarter. And it certainly isn't because they work more hours. It is because they learned something the average person realizes only after it is too late. By the time most people understand how money really works, they have already spent decades building someone else's empire. They have traded their youth for security that never came. They have sacrificed freedom for comfort that disappears the moment a paycheck stops arriving. Machiavelli understood one brutal truth that society still refuses to admit. The world does not reward good intentions. It rewards strategy. Money follows strategy. Power follows strategy. Freedom follows strategy. If you keep approaching wealth emotionally, you will continue making decisions that feel safe while secretly keeping you poor. And that is exactly why you must stay until the very end of this video. Because the final wealth move is the one almost nobody understands until they are standing at the edge of regret, looking back at decades they can never recover. Once you understand it, you will never think about money the same way again. Let's begin. The first brutal wealth move: stop chasing money. Chase leverage. This sounds backwards, but it changes everything. Poor people chase money. Rich people chase leverage. Ask yourself honestly, if you stop working tomorrow, does your income stop? If the answer is yes, you don't own wealth. You own a job, even if that job pays well. Most people believe earning more money automatically makes them richer. It doesn't. It simply makes them more dependent on continuing to earn. That is not freedom. That is a golden cage. Machiavelli believed power comes from controlling systems instead of serving them. The same applies to wealth. Every wealthy empire is built on leverage. Leverage means your effort continues producing results long after you've stopped working. It could be a business, investments, digital assets, real estate, intellectual property, a YouTube channel, software, books, anything that earns while you sleep. Meanwhile, most people spend years negotiating for slightly higher salaries. Think about how tragic that is. Someone celebrates getting a 10% raise. But inflation quietly steals half of it. Taxes take another portion. Lifestyle upgrades consume the rest. They feel richer. Yet financially, nothing changed. Their chains simply became more expensive. The wealthy ask completely different questions. Instead of asking, how can I earn more this month? They ask, how can I build something that earns for the next 20 years? That difference seems small. It creates completely different lives. Your time is limited, your energy is limited, your lifespan is limited. So why build your future around something that disappears the moment you stop showing up? Every hour you spend building leverage multiplies itself. Every hour spent only chasing income dies the moment the clock runs out. One path creates dependence. The other creates freedom. Which one are you building today? The second brutal wealth move. Protect your attention more fiercely than your wallet. Everyone tells you to protect your money. Almost nobody tells you to protect your attention. Yet attention creates money. Money rarely creates attention. Notice how billion-dollar companies fight for your eyes every second. Social media, television, news, notifications, advertisements, trending drama. Every single one wants one thing: your focus, because whoever controls your attention eventually controls your decisions. And whoever controls your decisions controls your financial future. Most people lose thousands, not because someone steals their bank account, but because someone steals their concentration. Hours disappear, days disappear, years disappear, all consumed by entertainment that leaves nothing behind. Machiavelli warned that distractions are often disguised as pleasures. The enemy rarely attacks from the front. He offers comfort instead. Imagine two young men. One spends 3 hours every evening consuming content. The other spends 3 hours learning a valuable skill, studying markets, building a business, improving communication, or creating assets. At first, they look identical. After 1 year, the difference is noticeable. After 5 years, the gap becomes shocking. After 10 years, one wonders why life is unfair. The other appears lucky. Luck had very little to do with it. Attention did. Your attention is the soil where your future grows. Plant it in entertainment, you'll harvest distraction. Plant it in knowledge, you'll harvest opportunity. Plant it in creation, you'll harvest wealth. Ask yourself a difficult question. Who profits every time you become distracted? It usually isn't you. The third brutal wealth move. Never let your lifestyle grow faster than your assets. This is where millions quietly destroy their future. The moment income rises, expenses rise faster. A better apartment, a newer car, designer clothes, luxury vacations, expensive habits. Suddenly, a person earning 5 times more still feels broke, because their lifestyle expanded to consume every increase. This is exactly how invisible financial slavery works. Nobody forces you into it. You volunteer. Status is addictive. People begin buying things they don't need, to impress people they secretly dislike, using money they haven't truly earned, to maintain an image that generates absolutely no wealth. Machiavelli understood appearances influence people, but he also understood something even deeper. Never become the prisoner of your own image. Many wealthy people deliberately live beneath what they can afford, not because they cannot spend, because they understand every unnecessary dollar spent today is a soldier removed from tomorrow's army. Money invested becomes an employee. Money wasted becomes a memory. One compounds, the other disappears forever. Imagine planting 100 seeds. Would you dig them up the next day because you're impatient? Of course not. Yet people constantly destroy their financial seeds before they have time to grow. Every unnecessary luxury delays future freedom. Every disciplined investment accelerates it. Real wealth often looks boring before it looks impressive. That is why so few people ever achieve it. Because patience rarely receives applause, but it receives interest. And interest is one of the most powerful forces on earth. The wealthy understand delayed gratification is not sacrifice, it is strategy. Most people only discover this truth after spending decades chasing appearances. By then, time has become their greatest debt. The fourth brutal wealth move. Learn to become emotionally expensive. Most people think wealth is created by intelligence. It isn't. It is protected by emotional discipline. Watch what happens when markets fall, when businesses struggle, when opportunities disappear. The average person panics. They sell too early, quit too soon, abandon plans that were beginning to work. Fear becomes their financial advisor, and fear has never built an empire. Machiavelli understood that whoever controls his emotions controls outcomes that others surrender to. Wealth rewards those who remain calm while everyone else reacts. Imagine 2 investors facing the exact same crisis. One sees disaster and runs. The other sees discounted opportunities and quietly buys while everyone is desperate to escape. Years later, the difference isn't intelligence, it's emotional control. The market pays the patient and punishes the impulsive. Business rewards persistence and destroys those addicted to instant gratification. The greatest fortunes are often built during moments when ordinary people are too frightened to act. If you want extraordinary wealth, your emotions cannot dictate your decisions. Your strategy must. Because every emotional decision today becomes a financial consequence tomorrow. The fifth brutal wealth move. Stop trying to look successful. Become impossible to ignore. This is the trap that consumes millions. Luxury watches, designer clothes, expensive cars, social media photos designed to impress strangers. People spend fortunes advertising wealth they haven't actually built. Machiavelli knew appearance has value, but only when it serves power. Never confuse the costume with the kingdom. The truly wealthy often move quietly. They don't need applause because their assets speak louder than their image. Remember this. Attention without value fades. Value without attention eventually gets discovered. Build skills, build businesses, build systems, build credibility. Then let success reveal itself naturally. The loudest person in the room is rarely the richest. Silence often hides the strongest position. The sixth brutal wealth move. Treat every relationship like an investment. Your network is not about collecting contacts. It is about surrounding yourself with people whose habits elevate your own. Spend enough time around people who normalize excuses, and excuses become your identity. Spend enough time around disciplined builders, and discipline begins to feel normal. Machiavelli understood alliances determine victories. No king rules alone. No empire is built in isolation. The people around you influence how you think about money, risk, ambition, and possibility. Protect your circle as fiercely as you protect your bank account, because one bad influence can cost more than any financial loss. Choose relationships that challenge you to grow, not those that reward you for staying comfortable. The seventh and final brutal wealth move. Understand that time is the only currency you can never earn back. Money lost can be recovered, businesses can be rebuilt, investments can grow again. But a single year wasted is gone forever. This is the lesson most people learn when it's too late. They spend their healthiest years postponing their dreams, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they have enough confidence, enough savings, enough certainty. That moment never arrives. Machiavelli understood that fortune favors those willing to act, while others hesitate. Every day you delay building your future, someone else is building theirs. The gap widens quietly, not because they are better, but because they started. 1 year from now, you'll either thank yourself for beginning today, or regret waiting one more time. The choice has always been yours. Remember this: wealth is not created by luck. It is created by decisions repeated consistently over years while everyone else is distracted. If you master leverage, guard your attention, control your lifestyle, discipline your emotions, ignore empty status, choose powerful alliances, and value time above everything else, you won't just earn more money. You'll build a life where money works for you instead of you working for money. That is the difference between surviving and becoming truly free.